We're going to talk to you and with you about safety, safety in live events, which is a major and serious topic, right? But we can also, and we wanted to bring some innovation angle to this project. Do I have any kind of? I need that to do it. Okay. Cool. Here we go. So, with Wallifornia on board, a little word about the program we are part of. SAFE is an initiative funded by EU and Erasmus+, and it's a project aiming to design new innovative training program for safety professionals in live event, live production, venues, live producers. We have the chance to have like tremendous partners from all across Europe involved in this project. Police, LABA, Issue, ELMC, BDV, Mind Over Matter Consulting, and European Arenas Association and ECM. To sum up, they are professionals of live music, professionals of European programs, professionals of securities, working all together in trying to design the best in-class new training program for approaching safety, because as you know, the challenges, but also the opportunities are kind of moving to a new pace with the terrorist threat. But also we wanted to tackle that with Wallifornia, with our flavor, you know, our identity. Because Wallifornia is about bringing together you guys, expert, professional from the industry, tech, people, developers, also the people, because we have the chance to have an event sitting right in the middle of Les Ardentes. So the idea was, yes, to take part of this approach, designing a certification and training program, but also bringing in the toolbox, in the resource, some innovation, approaching technology as a tool, as a mean also to help the safety professional to do better their job on a daily life, but most and foremost, approaching innovation not only in a tech way, but also in a new way to design, a new way to approach user experience. It's about safety, right? So why is a guy like me, a music tech guy coming from a label background, has to do in live event safety discussion? Well, I think because we share the same goals and the same objective as a group, it's really about approaching this innovation dimension in the safety as using applicable innovation in the safety management and contribute as a resource to deliver usable assets for safety persons. And the methodology we tried to get here was to look at the existing challenges and touch points and applications, so cybersecurity, screening at the entrance, crowd management, crowd dynamics, safety check, so when an incident occurs, what happens? But we thought it was, what is different in the digital world we live in? What is the main shift? Mainly, it's user at the core. It's about consumer journey. It's about user experience. So why we don't approach this bunch of work? It's a 2 years program, right? Through a user journey perspective. Then it started with like working on that. What is the user journey? For you, all of you, I guess, you've been attending many concerts in your life, sport events, and it gets more and more complex. Or, if you take the other side, for a user, more and more easy to find your way from buying your ticket in a digital mode, having your flash ticket on your paperless ticket, downloading Les Ardentes app, then maybe, find your way through transportation, Waze, Uber, whatever, Google Maps, then arriving at the venue, WhatsApp your friends, hey, I'm here, where you are. It's a different world we live in, but it's a lot of touch points, it's a lot of platforms, it's a lot of complexity in terms of data flows. And all throughout the process, there are some safety challenges and safety moments to take into account. And so what we try to do is to shift a little bit the perspective and ask this question to ourselves and to the community and to the people involved in the program. It was to go to this question, very, very specific: how to design a seamless and safer user journey for and with, and the with is super important, the event audience and attendees. The first way to do that was, it happened yesterday, and we are still with the group today and tomorrow. We had a super great and insightful and super energetic ideation session yesterday with people from Viot, with some great venues all across Europe, some experts in data management, some experts in softwares, some experts in safety. And we try to go through this user journey exploration to see what are the frictions, but also what are the opportunities to bring some new services. And yes, it's about access, it's about service. When you approach safety, maybe you can approach this from a control perspective, but it could be also approached in an access perspective. Also think about the digital consumer journey and bring into a physical, tense, and potentially stressful physical environment, and how to make it smoother throughout the way. Then also take some other examples out of the live event sector. Data is everywhere. For some people, we had some super interesting discussion yesterday, like why should we all focus on data and why we should not shut down mobile at the entrance of a show to just leave the moment to have the greatest experience of our life. Yes, but in some extent, also, we can take the best of the best in other environments, like airports, also entertainment parks and amusement parks and leisure. Like Disneyland and Disney are super good at managing your journey and bringing you through a seamless experience. Like you have the queue time of each of the attraction when you are coming in this wonderful world of Disney. It brings the magic in a way through data management and frictionless app. Also, there is something we want to explore moving forward in this project, and we had the chance to have someone from Smart City Institute from Liège with us yesterday. It's how to approach this safety discussion within a broader perspective of smart city discussion. Because if you take the kind of usual key topics approach in a smart city strategy, event or if you leisure is not often quoted as one of them. And we think it's a time for we bring event management and safety management in events in the discussion, even to the point of even becoming some labs. Because venues and event can be a super interesting place to prototype some smart city technologies. Also, there is something at stake which is pretty serious here, because safety and user journey is a cool way to approach things, like to smooth and to have a seamless experience, but we should not forget also it's about anticipate and react to a threat. But still, when we take a step back and we consider what kind of platform people are using in their real life, when an incident occurs, it could be a terrorist attack, it could be some kind of a natural disaster. People are using Facebook as the first point of contact to say to their family and relatives, I'm safe. So we choose to just keep that in mind and maybe collaborate with those guys, or maybe being inspired of what they do. And so know your audience before your enemy. Doesn't mean you should not know your enemy. You should know your enemy as well as your friends and as your fans. You should even talk to them as well as the fans. But there is something that you need to be quicker to react to any kind of incidents than your enemies. And it's about knowing the consumer journey also. Last but not least, it's about engagement. And again, it's not about technology, so to speak. It's about being inspired by the digital world, which is turning really about the engagement as core of most of the new business models, and access as part of it too. it's about a conversation, it's about dialogue. So yeah, safety and dialogue, what the hell? It's a concept, I think jointly with people in the group that it's key. Dialogue is about communication, and it's about dialogue from the event organizers to the audience. So it has to become a conversation. It's about event organizer and the city around it, and the event inside the city. So a kind of a global approach of urban, let's say, journey of a person. It's about event organizer and third-party platforms, like I mentioned, Facebook. It could be Waze. It could be working with you guys. If anyone in the room is interested to be part of this journey and this work, please contact us and come to us. There will be someone at the end. You can fill in to receive more information and be part of the discussion. We leave this program to be an open discussion, not an open API so far, but this is where we're heading, and it's also about organization, how you manage your workflows, how you manage your crises, and so on. Moving forward, we're going to explore 7 things. More basic stuff, organization and workflow, but also like more advanced technology, like face recognition. We had a chance to have with us Bleak Identity from Austin with face recognition advanced technology. Blockchain might be explored, or maybe another technology, but the idea of having one ticket for one person for one identification, and also AR, augmented reality, which is more a kind of a bonus. It's not core to what we're going to explore, but for signage, maybe it will be some kind of differentiation and new ways to approach navigation in a venue or in a big stadium for people. And last, to conclude that, this is what we have ahead. We're going to look at 4 parts moving forward. We have 1 year in front of us to develop this program. On the innovation part with Wallifornia, we're going to look for tech solutions already existing and already applied in the market, best practices. We're going to look for emerging and like developing technology in the safety world. So startup, shout out and raise your hand, not now, but to be part of the discussion. We're going to look at tech solutions that are already used in the live event, but not used for safety, like just an event app. And also, we're going to go for another round of hackathon next year, when we would love to prototype services solution based on the ideation outputs we had over these 3 days of ideation session. And just as a conclusion, I just wanted to say, yeah, don't be a fool. Safety is cool. It's a serious game, but it could be a super exciting journey moving forward with all of you guys. So thanks. And I give the mic to Pascal.
Tu peux rester?
Yeah, je reste là.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. I would like today to go through the matter we are dealing with in this project. My presentation will complete what Yvan said previously, and I will talk to you about crowd management through science and technology. Since 2015, we have learned to do more security perspective, more control, more technological tool in order to secure our event. But in this process, maybe we forget something very important, which is as organizers. What kind of experience do we want to provide to our guests? Is safety really a part of the organization process? Can we think about the way to make it compliant with the organizer perspective? And technology and science can help us to have a clear perspective in this. Otherwise, we will do festival, we will do event just to do safety and security. This is a picture of the festival I'm working for. Paléo Festival in Switzerland. And you can see in this picture the spatial impact of the event. From my perspective, an event such like a festival can be considered as a city. It's an ephemeral city, but we have to deal with the same issues, the same problem that people have to deal with in permanent cities. It's all about governance, and a part of governance is, of course, security for the people. But taking this perspective, can we consider festival as urban laboratory? Urban laboratory like an ephemeral city setting up from nowhere and giving us the opportunity to test, to experiment some perspective, some new approaches, and some new technologies. We can roughly identify 4 main topics around event safety management today. The first one is risk management process, and we all know that there is some methodologies around this, and the challenge is to take this methodology into our organizational process. The second key point is urban planning. How can we use the site design in order to improve the safety and the security of the guests? Third one is event safety as a service. Yvan just talked previously about guests, about dialogue. We need to think about our security and safety service as to fit with the spectator expectations and the way they want to live and experiment our event. And the fourth is technology for event management. And we all know there is plenty of new solutions, but are we able to implement them in our process? Does the technology fit with our objectives and goals? Talking about risk management, you all know this process: identification and risk, mitigation, implementation and monitoring. Of course, this is important, and this is all about planning. This is about preparation process, the way we are preparing our event seriously, identify the risks, and deal with this kind of issues. But in the same time, everything cannot be previsible, and there is some unexpected things or issues occurring. And at that point, we need to improve our capability to deal with unexpected situation, but starting from something, not starting from nowhere. Otherwise, we will improvise at any time. So we need to think about the way we will train and improve the capabilities of the organizers to deal with risk management process, but also to deal with uncertainty and to improve their crisis and business continuity management. Urban planning safety by design, very general one. I did some research on space design, space management, layouts, urban layouts, and I clearly believe that safety is all about space. The way we will design the site of the event will have a huge impact on crowd flows, for example. The way we will design the barriers in the front of stage will have an impact on the density and some congestion in the crowd. So, thinking about security and safety, we need to implement a reflection around space. That's why it's very important to think about safety and security, and in the same time, to think about architecture, urbanism, and site design. That's why festival can be seen as a laboratory of intense city, because it is intense, and it's all about intensity. Even safety as a service, we all know what we are talking about when we talk about security. Security is very dark, it's very it's a constraint. We think about security originally as an extension of police forces and missions. But actually, no, we know there is another need. And the need is, what are the people coming in? Who are these people, these attendees? Can we define the crowd profile and adapt the system we put in place to their needs and expectations? That's why, of course, we need some intervention team and the capability to deal with very huge and severe situation. But under this severe situation, which is very low probability, we need to deal with normal situation. And in this normal situation, we need to provide a service. We need to provide people able to answer the needs of the attendees, and probably people able to crowd condition the people in order to provide the better experience. I will now go through technology. Of course, there is a lot of solution today to improve crowd management and event safety with technology. But the problem is, do we really know what we are doing when we use the technology? It's not about something is here, I have to use it, because that's the way the history is running. No. What are my needs? How can we improve our system with the help of technology? And technology can help us in this whole process. Technology can help us to identify the early signs of risk. Technology can help us to identify some point of congestion, for example. And technology can help us in order to have a better understanding of crowd behavior and crowd expectations. I will shortly show you the process dealing with monitoring with technology, the way an event can run. The first step is real-time management. Real-time management, maybe you all know that. Talking about security and safety, we need an interoperability between all the actors involved in the process, meaning security staff. You can see here an example of Rock Vector control room. You can see here fire brigade, medical staff, police, weather forecaster. So all these people are constituting a community in order to exchange information and to react very quickly and efficiently in case of trouble. Daily use and data reports. This is an example of the solution we imagine for Paléo Festival. And it's very simple. You have here the site of the festival, and the goal is to identify what occurred during the event. All these dots represent something happening, an event. Maybe a medical event, maybe a theft, maybe a conflict, or anything. And every event is related to a category. So you can choose to see only the medical intervention, like here. And with that, you can see in a heat map process a peak of density of this kind of event. And then the reflection starts. Why is it more in this part of the festival site that we have that kind of problem? And it's a very dynamic tool. We can see the changes in real time, so we can adapt in real time the way we design the safety system. And of course, this database can help us in order to do some comparison from one edition to the other. And in the same festival running, we can have that kind of representation with all the data gathered in one document to help to see what's going on and are we right comparing to the previous editions. For example, if we have the statistic of the thefts during the festival, is it normal or unnormal? Do we have to take care about something or to be aware about something running on? In the end of the day, if we want to improve our system and if we want to go through a crowd management with science and technology, probably we need to think about what can I do with technology? How can technology answer my needs? Not only what can I do with technology. You can do everything with technology, but it is really useful. Do you have the capability to understand the data and to visualize the data in order to improve in real time the way you are running your event? This is really important to think about a risk of technological artifact, meaning you do technology just to do technology. And in the end, just keep in mind that there is human, and there is human behavior behind the dots, behind the maps, behind the screens, and behind technology. Technology is made by human for human. And this process needs to be understood, and clearly, we need to clearly identify the perspective for the future for safer event and safer festival. Thank you.